Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into something genuinely groundbreaking in the world of crypto, the Bitcoin dollar, or BTCD. Imagine a stablecoin that's not just backed by Bitcoin, but fully and natively backed by Bitcoin, and it's completely decentralized. Sounds like a mouthful, right? But the implications here are, well, potentially immense for the future of digital finance.
It truly is. And, what's compelling about the sources we're pulling from for this deep dive is how comprehensively they lay out this story. We have an in-depth review and impact analysis directly on BTCD, which really breaks down its innovative technical architecture. But we also have this fascinating piece that positions Bitcoin-anchored stablecoins within the larger historical, even philosophical context of a new Bretton Woods system. So this allows us to move beyond just the technical specs and really understand why BTCD matters, in the grand scheme of global finance.
Right. So our mission today is to cut through any jargon and give you the essential nuggets. What BTCD actually is, how this ambitious project works under the hood, why it's being hailed as a potential cornerstone for a digital Bretton Woods, and crucially, what its arrival might mean for your understanding of crypto, stablecoins, and maybe the wider financial world you operate in. So let's delve in. Okay, so the buzz really kicked off with the Elastos Foundation's announcement back in June 2025. They stated their Bitcoin dollar, DTCD, is officially set to launch on the Elastos mainnet on August 1st. And this, while it instantly grabbed widespread attention, and for good reason, what makes this even more intriguing is its incubation, right, by the new Bretton Woods, or NBW project, which I understand is a significant initiative led by Harvard students and alumni.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the broader financial landscape, the timing of BTCD's emergence is absolutely critical. It's not happening in a vacuum. Our sources paint a pretty clear picture of a global financial system under immense strain. We're seeing unprecedented levels of rising national debt, persistent fiat currency devaluation, and escalating geopolitical tensions that just contribute to this pervasive sense of economic instability. This climate has led many, including some very influential figures, to reconsider the fundamental concept of hard currency. They're looking back to assets like Bitcoin as a potential global reserve asset, much like gold once served that purpose in the, let's say, traditional financial system. History, as our sources remind us, is, well, full of examples where debt accumulation and currency overissuance lead to financial crises, precisely because traditional fiat systems often lack that sort of hard constraint on their supply or value.
And here's where it gets particularly interesting, showing how deeply this topic is penetrating mainstream discourse. Back in the fall of 2024, at the Global Bitcoin Conference in Nashville, former U.S. President Donald Trump himself, he put forth three remarkably impactful ideas regarding Bitcoin. He proposed integrating Bitcoin into national reserve assets, replacing the SEC chair due to concerns about overregulation in the crypto space, and supporting specific legislation for stablecoins. Now, this marks a dramatic, a very visible shift from his past views on cryptocurrencies. It signals a growing acceptance, maybe even strategic consideration of Bitcoin within mainstream politics at the highest levels. It's a clear indicator that Bitcoin isn't just some fringe asset anymore, but a legitimate player in that global financial conversation.
Absolutely. And it's not merely a political phenomenon either. We're witnessing a massive influx of institutional capital. Giants like BlackRock, Fidelity, JP Morgan, they're launching a multitude of Bitcoin-related investment products. Think spot Bitcoin ETFs and other vehicles, making it easier for traditional investors to get exposure. This rapid entry of mainstream financial capital into the crypto space isn't just about market speculation. It represents a profound shift in how Bitcoin is perceived. It's moving from, a niche speculative asset to what many now see as digital gold, an asset capable of unifying information, value, and trust in a new paradigm. This institutional embrace suggests a long-term reevaluation of Bitcoin's role, both in diversified portfolios and potentially global financial infrastructure.
Okay, so what does this confluence of events mean for you, our listener? It means the world is actively seeking new anchors, right? New foundations in these uncertain financial waters, whether it's to hedge against inflation, diversify investments, or simply hold assets outside the traditional banking system. The demand for truly robust digital alternatives is surging. And BTCD is emerging at precisely this moment, positioning itself as the world's first fully Bitcoin-backed decentralized stablecoin. Explicitly designed, it seems, to address these systemic vulnerabilities. It's a big promise. Let's see how they plan to deliver. All right, now that we've set the stage, let's pull back the curtain a bit and look at the ingenious technical architecture behind BTCD. How do you actually create a stablecoin that's fully backed by native Bitcoin and is genuinely decentralized? Sounds incredibly complex. But our sources seem to break down these innovative mechanisms.
Yeah, they do. At its core, BTCD leverages Elastus's BL2 protocol, that's Bitcoin Elastus Layer 2. This is a really crucial technical breakthrough because it addresses a long-standing challenge in the crypto world, which is how do you bring Bitcoin's immense value and security into the realm of decentralized finance, or DeFi, without compromising its core principles? The BL2 protocol allows Bitcoin holders to interact with EVM-compatible smart contracts using zero-knowledge proofs, without having to transfer their Bitcoin assets off the Bitcoin mainnet. Think of it like unlocking Bitcoin's value for a vast array of DeFi applications, lending, borrowing, you name it all, while you, the user, retain full direct control over your native Bitcoin. You never actually let go of it.
That BL2 protocol certainly sounds innovative. So what are the specific features then that make BTCD tick and really distinguish it from other stablecoins out there?
Well, first and foremost, it's about being fully Bitcoin-backed and non-custodial. This is a monumental shift, really. Unlike many stablecoins backed by, a mix of fiat or other digital assets held by some central issuer. BTCD is designed to be the world's first fully backed by native Bitcoin. Users lock their BTC in specific addresses. These are P2WSH addresses on the Bitcoin mainnet. P2WSH stands for Pay-to-Witness Script Hash. They're specialized Bitcoin addresses that allow for more complex multi-party control and script execution directly on the Bitcoin blockchain. So this means you generate BTCD directly from your own Bitcoin. And crucially, you maintain full control. No third party ever holds your Bitcoin. This drastically reduces that centralization risk that has, frankly, plagued many existing stablecoins.
That non-custodial aspect is definitely a major advantage, especially for those wary of centralized points of failure. But Bitcoin's price is famously volatile, isn't it? How does BTCD maintain a stable one-to-one USD peg with that kind of collateral?
Right, good question. That's where high over-collateralization comes into play. To manage Bitcoin's inherent price swings, BTCD employs a substantial over-collateralization ratio, typically between 160% and 200%. This means for every dollar of BTCD you generate, you're locking up at least $1.60 to $2 worth of Bitcoin. This buffer is absolutely critical. Imagine Bitcoin drops by, say, 30% or even 50% in a single day, which it has done before. With only 100% collateral, the system would immediately be underwater. This extra cushion provides a significant safety net. It ensures the system can absorb substantial price shocks and hopefully gives users confidence in the peg. Price oracles, these are decentralized data feeds, constantly update the BTC-USD rates basically every block. And if the collateral ratio happens to drop to 110%, an automated arbitrage mechanism kicks in. This allows savvy arbitrageurs to repay debts at a discount and acquire the underlying BTC, effectively incentivizing the system to self-correct and maintain that stability.
That makes sense. And how do they ensure the privacy but also the transparency of this collateral? Is that where the zero-knowledge proofs come in?
Precisely. The system integrates zero-knowledge proofs, or ZKPs. This is quite advanced cryptography. It allows the system to verify that the Bitcoin collateral exists and is correctly locked without revealing any private information about the user or specific transaction details. Think of it like proving you have a secret key without ever actually showing the key itself to anyone. It's clever stuff. This enhances user privacy while simultaneously ensuring full on-chain transparency that the collateral is indeed there. It's a powerful combination, aiming for trust without sacrificing confidentiality.
Security is obviously paramount for any financial system. Given that this ties directly into Bitcoin, how is the underlying infrastructure of BTCD actually secured?
Security for BTCD is achieved through merge mining, which is a unique feature of the Elastos network. Elastos' network security is tightly coupled with Bitcoin's main chain by sharing the same mining hash power. This means that Elastos' network effectively secures over 50% of Bitcoin's massive hash rate we're talking about, approximately 366 exahashes per second, supported by major mining pools like Antpool, F2Pool, and Via BTC. This symbiotic relationship positions BTCD's underlying infrastructure as arguably one of the most secure and attack-resistant in the entire blockchain industry. It's leveraging Bitcoin's unparalleled security directly.
Right. Beyond security, what about its accessibility and, future growth potential within the DeFi ecosystem?
Yeah, for broad usability, BTCD features EVM compatibility and scalability. It's launching on the Elastos Smart Chain, or ESC, which is an Ethereum virtual machine compatible blockchain. This means developers and users familiar with Ethereum's ecosystem can, in theory, easily interact with BTCD. And looking ahead, there are plans for future expansion to something called the PG protocol chain, which would open it up to an even wider array of decentralized applications and interoperability, further enhancing its reach within the broader DeFi landscape.
Okay. And finally, how does the system handle liquidations? That's always a crucial component for stablecoin stability. Is it truly decentralized? Does it avoid the pitfalls of, say, centralized liquidators?
Absolutely, that's a key design goal. A critical component is its decentralized liquidation mechanism. This is specifically designed to avoid arbitrary or centralized liquidations. If, for instance, a 90-day loan contract expires and the collateral ratio has dropped too low, or maybe the borrower fails to repay, the locked Bitcoin collateral isn't just automatically seized by some central entity. Instead, it's liquidated via a decentralized exchange. And what's truly unique here is that this liquidation process is co-signed by miners who stake an equivalent amount of ELA, Elastos's native token. This means miners aren't just processing transactions, they put their own financial stake, their ELA tokens, on the line. If they were to act maliciously during a liquidation, they'd risk losing their staked ELA. This creates a powerful economic incentive for honest behavior and aims to prevent any single entity from manipulating liquidations. It adds, well, a robust layer of decentralized integrity to the system's core stability mechanism.
This all sounds incredibly robust on paper, particularly the merge mining and those economic incentives for liquidations. But how do we verify that robustness in the real world, especially for a system with so many moving parts?
That's a critical question, absolutely. The sources emphasize that while the technical design provides, an unparalleled foundation, the real proof of security comes from rigorous, independent audits. BTCD has already scheduled comprehensive reviews by leading security firms in the blockchain space, names like Certic, Slowmist, and Trail of Bits. Completion is targeted by June 2025. This multi-party, independent auditing approach is designed to bolster market confidence in its technical reliability and ensure the protocol is as resilient as it appears on paper. However, it's always worth noting, right? Even with meticulous audits, new and complex systems always carry an inherent, though hopefully minimized, risk of unforeseen issues. That's why multi-party audits and ongoing monitoring are just paramount for any innovative DeFi protocol.
Okay, so we've unpacked what BTCD is and taken a deep dive into how its, ingenious architecture functions. Let's zoom out now. What does the emergence of BTCD mean for the stablecoin industry as a whole? For Bitcoin's evolving role in finance? And most importantly for you, the individual navigating this landscape?
Well, BTCD is strategically targeting several key user groups, each with distinct needs that it aims to address. For the dedicated Bitcoin holder, it solves a long-standing dilemma. You hold Bitcoin as arguably a premier store of value, but its direct utility within the rapidly expanding DeFi ecosystem has been limited, right? With BTCD, you can now unlock that value for purposes like decentralized lending, borrowing, trading, all while still maintaining full, non-custodial ownership of your native Bitcoin. You don't have to wrap it or entrust it to a third party. That's huge. For DeFi users, it introduces Bitcoin's inherent security and decentralization as a stable, transparent medium of exchange within smart contract environments. And perhaps most significantly for institutional investors, its non-custodial nature, transparent on-chain proof of reserves, and compliance potential, especially with regulatory developments like the U.S. Genius Act allowing banks to use stablecoins, make it potentially an ideal and compliant entry point into the crypto market. It's really trying to bridge Bitcoin's security with DeFi's utility for a broad spectrum of users, from individuals all the way up to large financial entities.
So this really isn't just another stablecoin dropping into an already crowded market. Our sources go further, calling it a milestone for Bitcoin native DeFi. Historically, Bitcoin has been somewhat sidelined from advanced smart contract functionalities, mainly due to its limited native programmability compared to, say, Ethereum. BTCD, through its revolutionary BL2 protocol, genuinely seems to enable non-wrapped, non-custodial Bitcoin DeFi. This could potentially unlock Bitcoin's massive multi-trillion-dollar market capitalization for programmable finance, a domain it hasn't fully participated in yet. It's also setting a formidable new benchmark for decentralization and transparency with its on-chain proof of reserves, directly challenging the reliance of centralized stablecoins like Tether's USDT and Circle's USDC on traditional banking reserves, and often somewhat opaque attestation reports.
Exactly. And what's truly fascinating here is the ambitious, long-term vision behind that new Bretton Woods project to establish BTCD as the cornerstone of a digital Bretton Woods system. Just to quickly recap, the original Bretton Woods system, established after World War II, tried to stabilize global finance by pegging international currencies to the US dollar, which was then convertible to gold. It eventually broke down. But the idea of a stable, universally accepted anchor for the global financial system remains powerfully relevant. Now, the vision is for Bitcoin to replace gold as that global financial anchor, but in a decentralized framework. This isn't just symbolic talk. It offers a potentially viable and compelling path for the decentralized restructuring of global finance. It's positioned as a direct response to the growing trust crises in traditional financial systems, which are increasingly plagued by mounting debt, unconstrained fiat currency creation, and a perceived lack of transparency. It's an attempt, really, to reintroduce a hard money principle into the digital age.
That's a truly grand vision, aiming to solve some pretty fundamental problems in global finance. But of course, no innovation, no matter how brilliant, comes without its hurdles and risks. What are the key challenges and potential vulnerabilities BTCD faces as it actually rolls out?
Yeah, absolutely. Despite its significant advantages and ambitious design, BTCD's path certainly comes with potential challenges. Firstly, there are oracle risks. The system's stability relies fundamentally on accurate, real-time BTC/USD price data from external oracles. Any failure, delay, or worse, malicious manipulation of these oracles could lead to incorrect collateral valuations. That could potentially trigger unwarranted liquidations or undermine the one-to-one peg, directly threatening the system's stability. While they use decentralized oracles, this remains a critical external dependency. You have to trust the data feed.
That makes perfect sense. If the price feed is wrong, the entire collateralization model could be thrown off, creating a potential cascading effect. What about the complexities of its unique liquidation process? You mentioned miner staking ELA.
Precisely. That brings us to the liquidation mechanism complexity. While it's highly innovative in its decentralized approach, involving decentralized exchanges and miner staking ELA, its real-world efficiency and resistance to collusion still need extensive market validation once it goes live. How quickly and smoothly will liquidations actually occur during extreme market volatility? Will the economic incentives always be strong enough to prevent malicious actors, or could novel attack vectors emerge? This is a critical area that just requires real-world stress testing.
And as with any new player entering a competitive market, market adoption has got to be a monumental hurdle, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. As a brand new stablecoin, BTCD needs to compete for liquidity, mindshare, and user adoption against deeply entrenched giants like USDT and USDC. I mean, these already command multi-billion-dollar market caps and vast user bases. So this requires rapid expansion of the Elastos ecosystem, forming strong partnerships across various DeFi platforms, and effectively communicating its unique value proposition to a broad audience to build that crucial network effect and user base. That's essential for true ubiquity.
And Bitcoin itself, as we discussed, is notoriously volatile. Despite the high over-collateralization, does that inherent volatility still pose an ongoing risk?
Indeed, it does. Despite its robust over-collateralization and those sophisticated arbitrage mechanisms, Bitcoin price volatility remains a potential challenge. Extreme, rapid, and prolonged downturns in Bitcoin's price could theoretically trigger large-scale liquidations. This could potentially overwhelm the system's mechanisms and impact user confidence, particularly in severe market downturns, black swan events. While the system is designed to absorb significant shocks, the sheer magnitude of Bitcoin's historical volatility means this is an ongoing factor to monitor and a real test for its resilience.
Right. So for you, the learner, these are the critical technical and market points to watch closely as BTCD rolls out. Will it successfully navigate these challenges and prove its resilience in the wild? That's the big question. We've now completed our deep dive into the Bitcoin dollar. We've unpacked the ambitious vision behind BTCD, explored its truly ingenious technical underpinnings, and considered its potential to radically reshape the stablecoin landscape and maybe Bitcoin's role in a decentralized future. It's a bold experiment, really, in this concept of a digital Bretton Woods system, aiming to be the world's first fully Bitcoin-backed decentralized stablecoin.
Yeah, to offer a comprehensive evaluation. From a technical perspective, BTCD's BL2 protocol and its integration of zero-knowledge proofs demonstrate deep expertise and genuine innovation. That's clear. Its merge mining ensures unmatched security, linking it directly to Bitcoin's robust hash rate, providing a foundation few others can claim. From a market view, it definitely fills a crucial and growing gap for Bitcoin native DeFi, and its non-custodial, on-chain, transparent nature positions it to attract substantial interest from both individual Bitcoin holders and, potentially, institutional investors seeking a truly robust decentralized stablecoin. And socially, it offers an innovative and intriguing solution, or at least a proposed solution, to the global debt and trust crises, presenting a path for decentralized financial restructuring. Now, its success obviously depends on effectively overcoming those Oracle dependencies, the complexities of its liquidation mechanism, and the significant hurdle of market adoption. But its performance after its August 2025 launch will be something to watch very closely, as it could indeed represent a new paradigm.
So what does this all mean for your future in finance? As we navigate an era where traditional financial systems face increasing scrutiny and central banks globally explore their own digital currencies, BTCD challenges us to consider a pretty fundamental question. Could a decentralized Bitcoin-backed stablecoin truly become the new hard money anchor for a global financial future, empowering you with greater control and transparency over your assets than ever before, truly offering an alternative perhaps to fiat instability? It's definitely a thought worth exploring as this innovative experiment unfolds.